All right, y'all. Welcome back to Correctional Officer Stories with Steve. Here to bring you another banger video. I got a guest with me, as you can see by the title. We're gonna bring you his perspective from county jail. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hi, what's up? My name's Martin, and yeah, we're gonna, excuse my language, we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna start this, give you how I felt about it, how it really was, and how it really is. Cause there's a lot of made up stuff about, oh, well, what if you are having some kind of issues, or so we're gonna talk about that.
Cool. So just so you're aware, it's my nephew. So keep the positivity coming. Keep that negativity out the door. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. You got anything else to add before we get started?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say bring the negativity too, because all that does is motivate me more.
Okay, cool. That's a good perspective. So, just real quick, so we're going to talk about what it's like to have a disability in the county jail in Maricopa County. So man, kind of when you went down, what was it like right away? Did anybody say anything? How was it?
Well, the first day I went in, everybody was cool, and right off the bat, I told whoever had the pod, I was like, "Hey, look, this is what's wrong with me. This is because I was born legally blind. I can see, like I can see myself on the video. I can see, like, I just can't see out of my left eye." And they understood. Everybody was cool with it. You know what I mean? And the guy basically told me, "Hey, look, if somebody tells you anything, you can't be no punk." And growing up, that's what I was taught off the rip. So, I mean, when you're in that situation and you're doing stuff and you're now, keep in mind, I wasn't with all that politics shit, because it's not like how it is in prison, but there were some there. And if you're Chicano, you're doing something, whether it's just telling somebody, "Hey, you gotta go do whatever you gotta do." So that time finally came, dog, where it was that right person who wanted to test who I was, and he said, "What are you gonna do? You can't see SH." And I was like, all right. And the person who had the pod, he nudged over, like, take him to the cell. And we took him to the cell and got what it was. And right after that, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got beat up in there too, but it was my fault. There's just certain things and certain rules you have to go by, and I wasn't put on game. So after I got put on game, I was well respected or whatever, because I took it like a man, and I brought myself back by smashing that dude talking about my eyes.
But would you say so right away though, with that disability, would you say they came at you hard, like trying to punk you, or kind of get into like that, and then maybe if you can touch on kind of what you think the gangs are like in county, like is there a lot of politic action going on?
You know what? If you want there to be a lot of politics, you'll find you some politics, and if you don't, it's still there. But if you just tell them, "Hey, look, I'm not with all that. I just want to be left alone." It's not like prison. Prison's way, and prison, that's not my ball game right there. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and because my family, they know who I am, and they know, and it's from both sides. So I mean, but no, they didn't come at me hard. They were cool. They were cordial. It's just, when you're drinking that hooch, boy, that hooch will get you. And keep in mind, I have some native in me, so I was drinking that shit. The wood was drinking that shit, and I'm not one to look for issues. Like, if the issue comes my way, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But other than that, no. Like, he was the first one to say, "What are you gonna do? You can't see." So I was like, "Oh, okay." And I look over, because we were on the top tier. I look over, I look down, and the head's looking at me like this, like nudging for me to take him to the cell. Yep, just like that.
So really, your disability didn't really affect you, kind of in the beginning, but as you kind of went through it, it really didn't affect you at all, right? And kind of give them, you were there for how long?
I was only there for 2 months. I was in LBJ, 3rd floor. And I'm going to tell you like this. When I got smashed for my disciplinary, they were cool as fuck about it, but I still got whooped. They didn't hit me in my face. I got hit in my face a couple times, but it wasn't purposely. I knew it wasn't purposely. So they were being cool with it. But if you mess up on purpose, and you try to, oh, I didn't try to give them some BS. Oh yeah, they're gonna get you, bro. But I was always solid on my end. I always try to come solid on my end. That's just how it is. Like I just try to be solid. all the
Did
time.
good answer, man. Did the DOs, the officers in there, did they give you any kind of problems with your disability? Did they help you? Did they assign an ADA
Oh fuck
folder
no.
to you?
Sorry. F no,
That's
bro.
cool.
F no. You know what? I almost freaking slipped and fell coming out of the showers because there's like a little ramp when you for the wheelchair accessible or whatever. So I was walking with my shower shoes and I almost fell. And when I you're not really supposed to do this, but when I got in the cell, I pushed the button. I said, "Hey, you mother effers didn't see me almost fall? Yeah, what do you want me to do about it?"
Oh, there's
Oh.
like there's a speaker coming out of the cell.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
they can talk to you.
Yeah, they have popped my door and they shut it.
Okay.
So I pushed the button they used to push to lock it up. I just didn't lock it up. I pushed the button because I was like, hey, what, you guys could have at least helped me. Like, what the F, you know what I mean? But other
Have you
than
seen
that,
it happen?
yeah, because they were watching me from the freaking bubble. But other than that, I mean, they actually gave me a cellie who I knew from the outs because I told him he could help me read, he could help me, but I was just talking that talk of selling wolf tickets, you know what I mean? And
Right.
he was my boy. It's just you're not really supposed to do this, but here's where the politics comes in. He was actually he was a brother. He was a folk,
Okay.
kinfolk, and I didn't really care because he was my boy. I knew the politics weren't so tough in county jail, so I was like, all right, you know what I mean? There's nothing really wrong with it. I ran it through whoever had the pod. He understood where I came from with my disability. He knew I wasn't trying to just BS. I was trying to BS with the guards so that way me and him could chill and lock it up, and not lock it up, but chill. And when the door's locked, we could just play cards or do our workout, do our program, whatever. But the head, he knew what time it was. He knew it. You know what I mean? But the head, I'm not gonna lie. Everybody on the outs who has talked about me, about my head, and who had the pod, didn't really have good things to say. So I kind of felt like the politics weren't so tough in my pod because the wrong person had it.
The
So,
wrong person had the keys.
yes, sir.
That's what he mean. They had the keys to the pod, so he was running the program. So, but as far as if you were racing, you were selling with a different race, right? So just to touch on that real quick, in prison, that's where it's different. I mean, I can't really, and we'll get his another opinion on that because I didn't work county, worked prison. On a GP yard in prison, you're not going to sell with another race.
No
They're
go.
trying to integrate them right now, and they have been trying to do that since like 2014. But it's just against everything that goes on the yard. It's against the politics. So kind of in county, tell us a little bit about how that works. Like, is it just all mixed in pod? Is it GP?
Oh,
How does
yeah.
that work?
Well, it's a GP pod. It's a GP pod, but you got like for instance, there was a native next to me, and he had 3-4 different cellies when I was there. He had another Chicano, he had a Wood, and he had a Kinfolk. So I mean, if you really want to get political and be like, I'm not gonna sell with that dude, then okay, I mean, you can either smash him out, go to the hole, or whatever, or you could ask to be moved. And usually, if you tell them, hey, look, I want to be moved, then they'll move you. But you're not supposed to. You gotta keep that on the hush. You just don't talk to the police. But like I said, I told them when I went in there, hey, I don't want to be too involved. I don't want to whoop whoop, and they understood. So I told the cop, hey, I want this dude in my cell. He's a good, solid dude. He can help me read. I feel like I can trust him with my disability. And for the most part, they respected that. They were cool. Like, even the person who had the keys, he was like, all right, bro, if he can help you see, all right. Like,
So there was really no special treatment for a disability then, right?
no, fuck no. I mean, they made me carry my own roll. They made me They made me make my own bed. They made me, you know what I mean? They didn't give me no special, oh, you can go to the front of the line because you can't see. You can, nah. They did keep me downstairs, but for the most part, I was upstairs anyway.
Did you have like a lower, so a lower bunk, lower
It
tier?
didn't matter.
Condo?
It didn't matter.
They just put you down there.
Yeah, I mean they just pretty much threw me in there, and they told me I was what
You
cell
think
I
they
was
did
in,
that
and-
because of your disability though, or no?
Nah, they just did that because I mean I'm just a regular person.
Because like in prison, he'd probably get what's called a lower, so a lower tier, lower bunk.
Yep.
So even on the lower level, there's 2 bunks, right? In a cell setting, he'd have to be on the lower bunk.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's some of the differences from county to prison, because if he were to step on the yard in prison, that disability, we'd right away have to assign him an ADA porter. And as you've heard now, they didn't assign him nobody. So
Nope.
Big differences, right? I mean, I don't know about big differences, but just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't get by in the facility, like, right? Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. I was a very visual person, so I made it look like I didn't have a disability. I can get around. I mean, like I was fighting in there, so I just made it look like I didn't have a disability. But I've always been one to not let my disability get in the way. But
we didn't raise him like he was blind either.
There's people in there with wheelchairs. There's people in there who are deaf. There's people in there who just with disabilities. That's just how it is. Don't think that just because there's something wrong with you, you can get away with it. Because let me tell you, got another thing coming.
Especially behind the walls, right?
Oh yeah. You can't get away with nothing in them walls. Let me tell you.
So yeah,
no secrets in there. No secrets.
No secrets. So that's just a little perspective from somebody that has, we call it a disability, but he gets along just fine in life. You would never know if you didn't know him, ever. Especially if he was wearing glasses, you just wouldn't know. So you can't judge a book by its cover, right? So anything else you want to touch on? We'll probably do a part 2. We're going to leave it right here. Anything else you want to touch on?
You know what, man? Nah. Stay out of jail. Stay out of prison. Stay away from all the BS. Hardworking diesel mechanic now, you know what I mean? I bust my bottom, $12 an hour. I do what I got to do. That's it.
Day and night, right?
After taking a couple bullets and realizing that the streets don't love you as much as you might love them,
yeah,
out of there.
And we'll touch on that. He's been through some things after he got out of county, and I'll talk to him and see if he wants to touch on that in another video. But we're gonna cut it right here. Thanks for rocking with me. Again, keep that positivity coming. We'll see some negativity. I know we will, but we're gonna drop it right here.
For you trolls out there,
them trolls, because them trolls are coming through.
Oh yeah.
And to all my subscribers, all my new subscribers, thank you. I appreciate it. Anybody still coming from Savage's channel, thanks again, man. I appreciate all that. And keep watching. We're out. Peace.